Question 1. Which of the following is a primary responsibility of the Rhode Island Department of Business Regulation (DBR) in the regulation of insurance companies? A. Setting the rates for all insurance premiums in Rhode Island. B. Issuing licenses to insurance agents, brokers, and adjusters. C. Enforcing federal insurance laws in Rhode Island. D. Creating and maintaining a state-run insurance exchange. Answer: B. Issuing licenses to insurance agents, brokers, and adjusters. Explanation: the Rhode Island Department of Business Regulation (DBR) is responsible for overseeing the insurance market in the state. One of its key duties is issuing licenses to insurance agents, brokers, and adjusters as part of its role in ensuring the professionalism and integrity of the industry. This includes enforcing standards for qualifications, education, and ethical conduct, which are critical to maintaining a fair insurance market. The DER does not set insurance premiums, A. Enforce federal laws, C. Or manage a state-run insurance exchange, D. Question 2. Mr. Anderson is applying for an insurance agent license in Rhode Island. He is a resident of Massachusetts and wants to sell insurance in Rhode Island. Which of the following statements is true regarding his licensing requirements? A. Mr. Anderson must pass the Rhode Island insurance licensing exam and meet continuing education requirements for both Rhode Island and Massachusetts. B. Mr. Anderson must apply for a non-resident license in Rhode Island and his Massachusetts license will suffice for selling insurance in Rhode Island. C. Mr. Anderson is not required to apply for a license if he holds a valid Massachusetts license. D. Mr. Anderson must all the same eligibility and examination requirements as a Rhode Island resident applicant. Answer: B. Mr. Anderson must apply for a non-resident license in Rhode Island and his Massachusetts license will suffice for selling insurance in Rhode Island. Explanation: Rhode Island allows for non-resident licensing, meaning that Mr. Anderson, who is a Massachusetts resident, can apply for a non-resident license in Rhode Island. His Massachusetts license would be valid for selling insurance in Rhode Island without needing to meet the examination and education requirements as a resident applicant. Options A, C, and D are incorrect because they do not accurately describe the process for non-resident licensing under Rhode Island's laws. Question 3 scenario: Ms. Thompson has just filed a claim for property damage with her insurance company. After an investigation, the insurance adjuster believes that the damage was caused by an event that is not covered under her policy's terms. The insurance company decides to deny her claim. Which of the following steps must the insurance company take to comply with Rhode Island regulations? A. The insurance company must immediately pay a settlement to Ms. Thompson even though the claim is denied to avoid legal complications. B. The insurance company must notify Ms. Thompson in writing of the denial, explaining the reasons for the decision based on the terms of the policy. C. The insurance company can deny the claim without informing Ms. Thompson, as no explanation is required under Rhode Island law. D. The insurance company is not required to notify Ms. Thompson of the denial until she requests the reason for the claim rejection. Answer: B. The insurance company must notify Ms. Thompson in writing of the denial, explaining the reasons for the decision based on the terms of the policy. Explanation: under Rhode Island law, insurance companies are required to provide written notice to the policyholder when a claim is denied. This notice must clearly explain the reasons for the denial, specifically referencing the relevant terms of the policy, exclusions, and any applicable provisions. This ensures transparency and helps protect the rights of consumers. Options A, C, and D are incorrect because they either misunderstand the obligations for denial notifications or overlook the required legal steps. Question 4. Which of the following is the primary function of the rate approval process for insurance in Rhode Island? A. To determine the maximum allowable amount insurance companies can charge for premiums. B. To ensure that insurance companies are charging rates that are not discriminatory or unfair. C. To set fixed rates for all insurance policies offered in Rhode Island. D. To guarantee that insurance companies make a profit on each policy sold. Answer: B. To ensure that insurance companies are charging rates that are not discriminatory or unfair. Explanation: in Rhode Island, the rate approval process is designed to ensure that insurance companies are charging rates that are fair, reasonable, and not discriminatory. The process aims to prevent companies from using biased or unfair practices that could harm consumers or certain groups. Rates should reflect the underlying risk associated with policy, but they must be justified and non-discriminatory. Option is incorrect because rates are not solely limited to maximum amounts but are evaluated for fairness and adequacy. Option C is incorrect as rates are not fixed but reviewed for fairness. Option D is incorrect because the goal of rate regulation is to ensure fairness, not guarantee profitability for companies. Question 5. What action must a Rhode Island insurance agent take if they discover a material misstatement on an application after the policy has been issued? A. The agent must notify the insurer immediately to investigate and decide whether to cancel the policy. B. The agent can ignore the misstatement if the policyholder has already paid the premium. C. The agent should modify the application to correct the misstatement. D. The agent must inform the applicant of the misstatement and leave it up to them to rectify the situation. Answer A. The agent must notify the insurer immediately to investigate and decide whether to cancel the policy. Explanation: if an insurance agent discovers a material misstatement on an application after the policy has been issued, the agent has an obligation to notify the insurer. The insurer will then investigate whether the misstatement affects the validity of the policy and may choose to cancel it or take other appropriate action. This ensures that the insurer is aware of potential issues that could impact the policy's terms. Options B, C, and D are incorrect because they do not involve the required notification and investigation by the insurer. Question 6. Which of the following would be considered an unfair trade practice under Rhode Island insurance law? A. Offering a policyholder a discount on premiums for having multiple policies with the same insurer. B. Denying a claim based on a legitimate exclusion specified in the policy. C. Misrepresenting the benefits or terms of an insurance policy to a potential client. D. Informing a policyholder of the coverage limits under their policy when they request an explanation. Answer: C. Misrepresenting the benefits or terms of an insurance policy to a potential client. Explanation: under Rhode Island insurance law, misrepresenting the benefits or terms of an insurance policy constitutes an unfair trade practice. Insurance agents and companies must provide accurate and truthful information to consumers regarding the terms and coverage of policies. Offering discounts or explaining coverage limits options. And D is generally permissible as long as it is done transparently. Denying claims based on valid exclusions, option B, is also permissible as long as the terms of the policy are adhered to. Question 7 scenario: Mr. Davis has a homeowner's insurance policy in Rhode Island and experiences significant damage due to a storm. The insurer's claims adjuster assesses the damage and determines that the repair cost is $20,000. However, the policy has a $1,000 deductible. How much will Mr. Davis receive from the insurance company to cover the repair cost? A. $19,000. B. $20,000. C. $1,000. D. $21,000. Answer A. $19,000. Explanation: in this scenario, the insurance policy includes a $1,000 deductible. The deductible is the amount that the policyholder must pay out of pocket before the insurance company begins to cover the repair costs. The insurance company will subtract the deductible from the total amount of the claim, $20,000. $1,000 equals $19,000. Therefore, Mr. Davis will receive $9,000 from the insurer to cover the repair costs. Options B, C, and D are incorrect because they either do not account for the deductible or exceed the claim amount. Question 8. Which of the following best describes the purpose of insurance market conduct examinations in Rhode Island? A. To assess whether an insurance company is meeting its profitability goals. B. To ensure that insurance companies are following proper claims handling, advertising, and underwriting practices. C. To determine the appropriate level of competition in the insurance market. D. To evaluate the financial stability of insurance companies operating in the state. Answer: B. To ensure that insurance companies are following proper claims handling, advertising, and underwriting practices. Explanation: market conduct examinations are designed to evaluate whether insurance companies are following the regulations set forth by the state regarding fair treatment of policyholders, proper handling of claims, accurate advertising, and appropriate underwriting practices. These examinations are essential for ensuring consumers are protected from unfair practices in the marketplace. Option is incorrect because profitability is not the focus of these exams. Option C is incorrect because market conduct exams do not directly address market competition. Option D is incorrect because financial stability is assessed through solvency examinations, not market conduct exams. Question 9. What must an insurer in Rhode Island do to comply with the state's cancellation and non-renewal laws for property insurance policies? A. Provide written notice to the policyholder at least 45 days before cancellation or non-renewal. B. Offer a reduced premium as a condition of non-renewal. C. Cancel the policy without notice if the policyholder fails to pay the premium on time. D. Notify the policyholder only if they request a renewal of the policy. Answer A. Provide written notice to the policyholder at least 45 days before cancellation or non-renewal. Explanation. In Rhode Island, insurance companies must provide policyholders with at least 45 days written notice before cancelling or non-renewing a property insurance policy. This gives the policyholder time to make adjustments or find alternative coverage. Option B is incorrect because offering a reduced premium is not a requirement for non-renewal. Option C is incorrect because insurers must follow due process for cancellations, including providing adequate notice even for non-payment. Option D is incorrect because insurers must notify policyholders regardless of whether they request a renewal. Question 10. Which of the following would be a valid reason for the suspension or revocation of an insurance license in Rhode Island? A. The licensee has failed to maintain a minimum level of continuing education. B. The licensee has been convicted of a felony unrelated to insurance activities. C. The licensee has been accused of making an inaccurate statement on their license application. D. All of the above. Answer. D. All of the above. Explanation. Rhode Island insurance regulations allow for the suspension or revocation of a license for various reasons, including failure to maintain continuing education. Option A. Conviction of a felony that may affect the licensee's fitness to work in the industry. Option B. Or providing inaccurate information on the application. Option C. These actions undermine the integrity of the licensing system and the insurance market, leading to potential regulatory action. Question 11. In Rhode Island, what is the maximum amount of time an insurer has to pay a claim for a property insurance policy after receiving proof of loss? A. 30 days. B. 45 days. C. 60 days. D. 90 days. Answer. C. 60 days. Explanation. In Rhode Island, insurers are required to pay claims for property insurance policies within 60 days after receiving proof of loss. This regulation helps ensure that policyholders are compensated in a timely manner. Options A, B, and D are incorrect because they do not reflect the statutory time limit established in Rhode Island law. Question 12. Which of the following is not a requirement for an insurance agent to be licensed in Rhode Island? A. The agent must be at least 18 years old. B. The agent must complete pre-licensing education. C. The agent must submit to a criminal background check. D. The agent must have prior experience working in insurance sales for at least 2 years. Answer. D. The agent must have prior experience working in insurance sales for at least 2 years. Explanation. While Rhode Island requires insurance agents to meet certain qualifications, prior work experience in insurance sales is not a requirement for obtaining a license. The other options are correct. Agents must be at least 18 years old, complete pre-licensing education, and submit to a criminal background check before licensed. Question 13 scenario. Sarah has a car insurance policy in Rhode Island with a $500 deductible. She gets into an accident where the total repair costs her $2,000. How much will Sarah need to pay out of pocket for the repairs? A. $500. B. $1,500. C. $2,000. D. $2,500. Answer A. $500. Explanation. With the deductible of $500, Sarah will need to pay that amount out of pocket before her insurer covers the rest of the repair costs. Since the total repair cost is $2,000, the insurer will pay $1,500 and Sarah is responsible for the $500 deductible. The other options are incorrect because they either overstate or understate the deductible amount. Question 14. Which of the following actions would be considered an unfair claim settlement practice in Rhode Island? A. Delaying payment of a claim without a valid reason. B. Offering policyholders an option to settle a claim for less than the amount owed. C. Denying a claim based on an exclusion clearly stated in the policy. D. Both and B. Answer. D. Both and B. Explanation. In Rhode Island, delaying payment without a valid reason or offering policyholders a settlement for less than what is owed are both considered unfair claim settlement practices. Insurers must act in good faith and settle claims promptly and fairly. Option C is incorrect because denying a claim based on an exclusion is not considered unfair if the exclusion is clearly stated in the policy. Question 15. What is the purpose of the Rhode Island Insurance Guarantee Association? A. To provide a pool of funds for policyholder claims when an insurer becomes insolvent. B. To ensure that insurance companies remain competitive in the market. C. To establish rates for all types of insurance policies sold in Rhode Island. D. To regulate the conduct of insurance agents and brokers. Answer A. To provide a pool of funds for policyholder claims when an insurer becomes insolvent. Explanation. The Rhode Island Insurance Guarantee Association helps protect policyholders by providing a pool of funds to pay claims if an insurer becomes insolvent. This ensures that consumers do not lose their coverage and can still access benefits in the event of the insurer's financial failure. The other options describe functions outside of the association's role. Question 16. Which of the following best describes the insurable interest requirement for purchasing property insurance in Rhode Island? A. The policyholder must have a financial interest in the property or life being insured. B. The policyholder must prove ownership of the property being insured. C. The policyholder must be the sole beneficiary of the property being insured. D. The policyholder must be related to the property owner. Answer A. The policyholder must have a financial interest in the property or life being insured. Explanation. The insurable interest requirement ensures that a policyholder has a legitimate financial interest in the property or life being insured. This prevents individuals from purchasing insurance policies on properties they have no stake in and potentially profiting from the loss. Options B, C, and D are incorrect because they don't fully capture the concept of insurable interest. Question 17. In Rhode Island, an insurance company is required to maintain records of an insured's claim for how long after the claim is settled? A. 1 year. B. 3 years. C. 5 years. D. 7 years. Answer B. 3 years. Explanation. Rhode Island insurance regulations require companies to maintain records of claims for at least 3 years after the claim is settled. This helps ensure that both the insurer and the policyholder have access to documentation if needed in the future. Options A, C, and D are incorrect because they do not reflect the state's legal requirements for record retention. Question 18 scenario. A Rhode Island homeowner's insurance policy includes a coverage limit of $200,000 for the dwelling. After a fire, the homeowner's house is deemed a total loss. The repair costs to rebuild the home amount to $250,000. How much will the insurance company pay for the repair costs? A. $200,000. B. $250,000. C. $450,000. D. The insurer will pay 50% of the total repair costs. Answer A. $200,000. Explanation. The insurer will only pay up to the coverage limit specified in the policy, which is $200,000 in this case. Even though the repair costs are $250,000, the policy's limit of liability applies and the homeowner will need to cover the remaining $50,000. The other options are incorrect because they either exceed the coverage limit or do not correctly interpret the policy terms. Question 19. Which of the following types of insurance must be provided to all drivers in Rhode Island? A. Homeowners insurance. B. Life insurance. C. Liability insurance. D. Flood insurance. Answer C. Liability insurance. Explanation. Rhode Island law requires all drivers to maintain liability insurance to cover bodily injury and property damage they may cause to others while driving. This is a mandatory requirement for obtaining a driver's license. Options A, B, and D are incorrect because they are not required for drivers in Rhode Island. Question 20. Which of the following statements is true regarding the provision of insurance quotes in Rhode Island? A. An insurance agent must provide a written quote within 5 business days of a request. B. An insurance company can provide a verbal quote without documenting it in writing. C. A written quote is required only if the customer asks for it in writing. D. An insurance company is not required to provide a quote to a potential customer. Answer B. An insurance company can provide a verbal quote without documenting it in writing. Explanation. Insurance companies in Rhode Island can provide verbal quotes to potential customers. However, these quotes must be accurate, and if the customer requests a written quote, the insurer must provide it. Option is incorrect because there is no specific 5-day requirement. Option C is incorrect because insurers can provide verbal quotes even without a request for written documentation. Option D is incorrect because insurers are generally required to provide quotes upon request. Question 21. Which of the following is a key purpose of the Fair Claims Settlement Practices Act in Rhode Island? A. To limit the number of claims filed each year. B. To ensure claims are settled in a timely and fair manner. C. To increase the premiums charged by insurance companies. D. To regulate the types of coverage available in Rhode Island. Answer: B. To ensure claims are settled in a timely and fair manner. Explanation: the Fair Claims Settlement Practices Act in Rhode Island is designed to ensure that insurance companies settle claims fairly and promptly. It requires insurers to act in good faith when processing claims, addressing issues like unjust delays or unfair settlement offers. Options A, C, and D do not accurately reflect the purpose of this act. Question 22. Which of the following is true about the right to cancel provision in Rhode Island auto insurance policies? A. Policyholders can cancel their auto insurance at any time with a 30-day notice. B. Policyholders must provide 60 days notice before cancelling their policy. C. Insurance companies can automatically cancel a policy at the policyholder's request without notice. D. Policyholders are required to pay for the entire policy term even if they cancel early. Answer A. Policyholders can cancel their auto insurance at any time with a 30-day notice. Explanation: Rhode Island law allows policyholders to cancel their auto insurance policies with a 30-day notice. This provision helps protect the policyholder's right to cancel the policy without facing penalties or fees as long as the notice period is respected. The other options are incorrect because they do not reflect the rights outlined in the state law. Question 23 scenario. Robert is insured under a homeowner's insurance policy with a $1,000 deductible. A tree falls on his house during a storm, causing $5,000 in damage. How much will Robert need to pay out of pocket? A. $1,000. B. $2,000. C. $5,000. D. $4,000. Answer A. $1,000. Explanation: since Robert has a $1,000 deductible, he will need to pay that amount out of pocket before the insurance policy kicks in. After the deductible is met, the insurer will pay the remaining $4,000 for the repairs. Therefore, Robert's out-of-pocket cost is $1,000. Question 24. What is the maximum fine an individual may face for operating as an unlicensed insurance agent in Rhode Island? A. $500. B. $1,000. C. $2,500. D. $5,000. Answer: C. $2,500. Explanation: in Rhode Island, an individual found operating as an unlicensed insurance agent may face a fine of up to $2,500. This fine is intended to deter unlicensed individuals from selling insurance, which helps ensure consumer protection. The other options are lower than the maximum penalty specified by law. Question 25. Which of the following would be covered under a standard homeowner's insurance policy in Rhode Island? A. Intentional damage caused by the homeowner. B. Loss of property due to flooding. C. Damage caused by a fire. D. Damage from a termite infestation. Answer: C. Damage caused by a fire. Explanation: a standard homeowner's insurance policy in Rhode Island typically covers damage caused by fire as long as it is accidental. Intentional damage, flooding, and termite infestations are generally excluded under standard policies, which is why options A, B, and D are incorrect. Question 26. What is the required minimum liability coverage for auto insurance in Rhode Island? A. $15,000 per person and $30,000 per accident for bodily injury and $10,000 for property damage. B. $25,000 per person and $50,000 per accident for bodily injury and $15,000 for property damage. C. $50,000 per person and $100,000 per accident for bodily injury and $25,000 for prop damage. D. $10,000 per person and $20,000 per accident for bodily injury and $5,000 for property damage. Answer A. $15,000 per person and $30,000 per accident for bodily injury and $10,000 for property damage. Explanation: Rhode Island requires drivers to carry at least $15,000 per person and $30,000 per accident for bodily injury and $10,000 for property damage under the minimum liability coverage. This ensures that drivers have sufficient coverage in case of accident. The other options exceed or fall short of the state's minimum requirements. Question 27. Which of the following is an example of comparative negligence in a Rhode Island insurance claim? A. The policyholder is at fault, but their insurer still covers the full cost of the claim. B. Both parties in an accident share some degree of fault and the damages are divided accordingly. C. The insurer refuses to pay the claim because the policyholder was partially responsible. D. The policyholder's damages are completely covered by the insurer regardless of fault. Answer: B. Both parties in an accident share some degree of fault and the damages are divided accordingly. Explanation: comparative negligence allows damages to be divided based on the degree of fault of each party involved in an accident. If both parties are partially at fault, each will be responsible for their share of the damages. This approach is used in Rhode Island to determine how compensation is distributed based on the circumstances. Question 28. In Rhode Island, which type of insurance is not mandatory for homeowners? A. Liability insurance. B. Property insurance. C. Flood insurance. D. Fire insurance. Answer: C. Flood insurance. Explanation: flood insurance is not mandatory for homeowners in Rhode Island, though it is strongly recommended for homes located in flood-prone areas. Liability, property, and fire insurance are typically covered under a standard homeowner's policy, but flood insurance requires separate coverage. Question 29 scenario: Mary's Rhode Island auto insurance policy has a $1,000 deductible. After an accident, the insurance company determines the repair costs will be $6,000. How much will Mary be responsible for paying? A. $1,000. B. $5,000. C. $6,000. D. $7,000. Answer: A. $1,000. Explanation: Mary's deductible is $1,000, so she will need to pay that amount out of pocket. The insurance company will cover the remaining $5,000 for the repair costs. Therefore, Mary's out-of-pocket expense is limited to the deductible amount. Question 30. In Rhode Island, which of the following would cause an auto insurance policy to be cancelled by the insurer? A. The driver does not inform the insurer of a change of address. B. The driver is involved in an accident but was not at fault. C. The driver is convicted of a DUI. D. The driver has not filed any claims in the last year. Answer: C. The driver is convicted of a DUI. Explanation: in Rhode Island, a conviction for driving under the influence DUI can result in the cancellation of an auto insurance policy. DUI convictions are considered serious offenses that affect a driver's risk profile. Options A, B, and D do not typically warrant cancellation of an auto policy under state law.